Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today from Hasbro, in their 12-inch Titan Hero series, we are featuring X-Men 97 Wolverine. Alright, so this figure came out, I believe, late last year, 2023. It was to coincide with the release of the Disney Plus X-Men 97 cartoon. But that cartoon, at the time, it was kind of pushed back a couple of months. So these figures actually came out a lot earlier than the cartoon itself. Big fan of the original X-Men 92 animated series that was on Fox years ago during my childhood. This is a great looking action figure. Keep in mind that these are budget toys priced anywhere between, I think, $9 to $12. They're clearly aimed at kids, ages 4 and up. So they're not for the serious collector. Serious collectors often kind of scoff at these toys. Heavy emphasis on toys. These aren't high works of art. They're not at the same level as like a Hot Toys or a Sideshow collectible action figure. Often these are very limited in articulation, limited in detail, limited in paint application. They're clearly aimed at kids. They're large, fun to play with. And for me, I have a great fondness for this style of toy. I think they make great display pieces. I have a large collection of these 12-inch action figures at my desk at work, and they're always a good conversation starter whenever we have guests. So for me, they're fun. The box art is incredible. I loved how they have all the cartoon characters, prominently displayed. Right now, we just have the Wolverine. In a perfect world, I think it'd be great if we had all the characters, but I don't think that's going to be the case. On the side, again, we have the cast of characters from X-Men 97. Nice animated illustration of Wolverine himself. So let's get started. So I love this style of action figure. These 12-inch figures, I think they're so fun. As an adult, I get a kick out of these, and I can't imagine how much fun I would have if I was like, a child of 4 or 6 years old having a toy like this. And it looks awesome. It's a very cool looking action figure. It really embodies the aesthetic and feel of the cartoon model. And I can really appreciate that. The color scheme is just right. The colors aren't too deep. They're just, the perfect shade of blue, yellow, and red, to match what you see on screen. And let's take a look at him up close. As usual, Wolverine has his grumpy face. He has his classic yellow and blue uniform with the tiger stripes. The sculpting is pretty decent. It's not like a realistic sculpt by any means. The mask is nicely done. The fins protrude nicely. They're not too large. The shoulder pads are done well. And the striping is very, very clean for the most part. The back, you'll notice the paint application. This is where it's a budget figure. They only paint the front of the figure, not necessarily the back. Which is funny because years ago, I actually made a Wolverine costume for Halloween. And I was under a crunch, and I didn't have time to sew on the materials on the back. So my costume is much like this toy. I just have the stripes on the front of my costume, but not on the back. This was during my cosplaying years. He has the X on the buckle, a nice detail. And then he has the boots. The boots could, in my opinion, do with some paint, because his boots do have black trim, but it's omitted on the toy, which is really clearly a budget thing. The claws are surprisingly long. I didn't expect them to be this long. I was thinking they'd only be like half the size, but wow, you're getting some sizable claws. And the nice thing is, too, with the claws here, unlike the last 12-inch Titan Hero Wolverine, all the claws were kind of like individual, and they come off really easily from the glove. So it's easy to lose them, whereas these, I think they're permanently affixed. And they're all one piece, which is nice. Very impressed by the size of them, too. And they're not warped that badly. Often with any Wolverine figure, the claws are always kind of bent and pointing in different directions, but that's not the case here. The articulation is as follows. His head, it's stiff, but it does turn. His arms go outward, which is nice, especially for this budget figure. And then I think I'll also go like that. They are going to collide, though, with the shoulder pad, which is unfortunate. The legs kick upward, and then they also kick outward, which is a big improvement over the older figure. And speaking of the older figure, I have that on hand so I could compare them. So keep in mind, there's a huge age difference between these, about 11 years. So this one came out in 2023. This one came out in 2012. And this is Wolverine in his astonishing X-Men costume. You can see the figures. They're roughly about the same height. The older figure, even though it's limited in its articulation, I think the sculpting is much more superior. The musculature on this figure is really well done. Let me pull out... let me adjust the white balance here real quick. And there we go. That looks a lot better. Yeah, so the sculpting on the older figure, it's really well done, especially the musculature on the upper body. It's a great looking figure. And like I was pointing out, the claws on the older figure too, they pop out really easily. So it's very easy for kids to lose these claws like on the first day of play. So you might, if you have the older figure, probably just glue the claws on. But yeah, we have two different generations of Wolverine here. This is much more evergreen classic costume versus this one, which was his astonishing X-Men costume from the comic books. So yeah, two generations of Wolverine, both great action figures. You can find this older figure on the secondary market. I purchased this one on Amazon, and the price point is a slight markup. I think I might have paid $13 or $14 for this one. Whereas the one right here, today is August 10th, 2024. You can still find this at your local Walmarts and Targets. And like I stated, I think they run for anywhere between $9 to like $12 in the States. And it's a great value. If you have little ones, they'll be all over something like this. They're fun to play with. They're nice, big, and it's just a cool toy. Heavy emphasis on toy. Alright, so let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.